Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the April 2020 Shadowwork Tarot reading for the sign of Leo. And please keep in mind this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs, okay? So if you know your natal chart placements, do have a look at the corresponding zodiac signs and see which video title resonates with you most intuitively. Now, just to let you know, I'll be using the Dark Mirror Oracle deck to pull the main energies that the shadow self is surfacing and releasing, or will be utilizing in order to promote healing. Then I'll be using the Wild Unknown Tarot to gain more insight as to how this applies to your current circumstances, if it does. And then I'll be using the Intuitive Tarot as always to clarify. So just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who has liked, commented and shared my videos. It means the absolute world to me. And for of course subscribing as well, watching these videos as and when they appear. All the really nice comments that I've received. People letting me know how it's helped them. Like, I really appreciate it. This is why I'm doing it. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos and to share your thoughts as well. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you. Alright, let's get stuck in then for you. So Leo, what is it that the shadow self is revealing at this time? What is it that is being looked at in more detail in order to be healed? Okay. So both came out simultaneously. You have alone in the world and you have sacrifice. Whoa, that just flew out of my hand. You have, oh, there you go, sacrifice. We'll get to that in just a moment. Now this is actually, you know what, it's funny enough, because I've been doing shadow work readings for months now and I've never pulled this card out. So I'm actually going to read from the book because I want to get the intricate details and its meaning across to you, okay? But alone in the world, this is really talking about vulnerability. You may have to open up in a way that you're not used to doing so, right? There may be something you have to reveal about yourself, something you have to communicate, or you may even need to reach out for help in a way that you felt too prideful to do so in the past, right? You felt like it was, you know, somewhat embarrassing or it was demeaning to reach out for help because of your ego. You may be too proud to usually ask for help when needed, but you're being humbled and being shown that sometimes you do need to reach out, or sometimes you have to put yourself in a vulnerable position in order to speak your truth, in order to be authentic, right? So you're kind of being pushed in that direction and you're really struggling with that, I feel, for you, Leo. I mean, that's not something that comes natural to many of you, because that's not really your energy, right? But you're being moved in that direction for a reason. And as I said, next you have sacrifice. So I'm actually going to turn to the booklet for this one to get more information, because as I said, I just don't usually pull it. It's like a whole new thing. And it's funny because I literally just opened the booklet and bam, sacrifice was there, number 7. So number 7 could be significant to you. I know that came up for Pisces reading also. The number 7 was quite prominent there. So it could be in relation to a Pisces that you're dealing with at this time, or you may have Pisces in your chart. And that's the aspect of yourself that needs addressing in regards to this energy. But moving on, I'm just going to read the booklet for you now. There is a strong power in sacrifice. Our fears, our hopes, they are all chains to a small world. Our sense of self is a small petty creature of uncertain resolve and shaky horizons. With sacrifice, we renounce our sense of self. We accept to be lost. We accept to be shaken and cut and bruised and hurt and burdened and locked and stricken and despised and gossiped and betrayed and be misunderstood and be left alone, to rot, to die, with just words of thanks while the world goes on over our broken dreams. But when we drown our sense of self to sacrifice, we are also a greater person. We are screaming, I exist, I make the difference. We accept a price to pay, and we used our blood and tears as currency. That gives us the right to stand tall. So wow, that's powerful. Okay, that's literally like, this is kind of like martyrdom essentially, which makes sense with the title sacrifice. But there's that energy, and you see how she's like a warrior clad in armor, and she's taken up the sword. And she's like willing to live and die by that sword, right? And that's that kind of energy. So it may be, I feel like, for you guys, this is the energy you've been in for a long time, but this is something you're being pulled into, right? That, these things are happening to me, not for me. I'm the one that has to take the blame. I'm the one that has to take the pain. I'm the one that has to bear the weight of the world on my shoulders so that things can change. If that's what's it's gonna take, then that's what it takes, right? It's like you literally taking on the whole of the burden, essentially, in order to try and change things, right? But you might be coming to this point soon where you realize that you're not having to do battle at every corner, right? Every aspect of your life isn't necessarily a war zone. Okay, that might be how it feels right now, depending on what's going on in your life. But there may be a situation, a very, very significant situation in your life that requires the opposite energy. It requires you to be in this space of vulnerability and expressing how you truly feel, right? Being honest with yourself. Not having this hard exterior up and taking it all on the shoulder and just going about your day. It's letting go, the release. And even this energy talks about releasing, letting go of this hardened ego that you've created for yourself. So I feel like for some of you, whoever this resonates with so far, you may be going through a sense of ego death. And that always comes with a lot of turmoil, a lot of confusion. It's a lost sense of self, right? You're being broken down, and you're being, you're becoming malleable, right? So you're being put into a very vulnerable position so that you can be more aligned to your true, authentic self, okay? Because the sense of self that you had previously may not be serving you or your highest good, okay? So just be aware of that. Yeah, I literally just picked up the tower, and underneath I see the star, Aquarius energy. So this is what it's talking about. This is like essentially you're being remade, right? You're being remade into your truest image. Because the identity you had previously was contributing to this pain because it wasn't real. It was a false sense of self that you identified with. Maybe because you wanted to align yourself to certain energies, certain types of people. You saw how they behaved or how they were, and maybe you felt like you were inspired by that and you wanted to be more like that yourself. However, I feel like you kind of lost yourself along the way, and as such you went through a lot of difficult situations. Those people may have even stabbed you in the back, and you come to realize that what was it all for when actually things were not what they seemed. And all of this is being done to realign you with your true self, okay? For you to shine, to truly shine as you are. Okay. So let's have a look in regards to the tarot then. So the first card you got was the Sun of Wands in reverse. So this is your energy, okay, Leo? It's fire, as well as along with Aries and Sagittarius. The point here is, it's also, by the way, Sun of Wands is Knight of Wands. So I feel like you really diminished yourself in order to essentially wear a mask, or in order to, if it's not to try and fit into a specific group or trying to align yourself with, an energy or a kind of persona that you admire and you wanted to aspire to be like, it's because you're diminishing yourself because of the fear of being completely authentic, the fear of what can happen when you're feeling at your most vulnerable, okay? When you don't have the 10 million barriers up, right? What happens then? I have nothing to protect myself, I can take on the way of the world if I have all these layers, but if that's stripped away, if my walls are taken down, like, what do I have? You know, it's that kind of energy. Next, you have the star, as I said, Aquarius energy. It's funny that this came up in your reading also. This is a very key energy in your reading, okay? This is talking about wish fulfillment. This is talking about, you know, your the divine, your highest self, you know, the collective consciousness, you know, your soul purpose, right? Your energy. It's all these things rolled into one. So this is what you're being, you know, remolded for, to come back to your true north, right? Facing your true north, being your true self, okay? Realigning your mind, your heart to your true center, so that you can really go after what it is that you actually want, not what you think you want. Next, you have the King of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Pentacles. So Earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Yeah. That's why you may have found recently, or in the recent past, that you were really struggling financially, that your living situation may be very unstable. You may have found yourself moving multiple times. You may have found yourself and your relationships breaking down quite frequently, things not quite coming together, because you and yourself was out of sorts, right? So it was kind of manifesting in various different ways throughout various aspects of your life. You could feel, like I said, the weight of your world was on your shoulders. So many things were going wrong simultaneously that it was very hard to focus on any one specific thing. You just kind of took it all. You may have had friends that turned their backs on you. You may have had a relationship breakdown or a divorce even. Your family might have turned on you. There might have been a lot of backstabbing, betrayal. A lot of things might have come to the surface, and it really made you hit rock bottom emotionally and feel very like you have you don't have any stability in your life, okay? So yeah, I can imagine that that's a heavy burden, right? Feeling like you're having to sort so many aspects of your life simultaneously, because everything kind of hit like dominoes, one after the other, right? But this is playing a part of it. This is what's kind of playing out in your reality, is you being misaligned, right? When there's a misalignment in regards to the various aspects of self, you're going to see that play out in your physical reality in various different ways. I'm not saying obviously all of the situations were your fault or you were responsible for them, of course not. There's going to be some things that you don't have control over, but I'm just saying that you attract that energy when you are completely misaligned, right? When you're not being whole and completely yourself, right? If you're not being wholly and completely yourself, you're going to see a lot of deception come out in various different ways in your life, okay? So next you have the Four of Wands. Okay, so yeah, this is more fire energy and it's directly under the Sun of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I think you're coming to realize that rather than having these fleeting, shallow connections with people, you know, friendship circles that are based on appearances rather than true depth, you know, and loving support, rather than having relationships that are based on fleeting attraction, you know, sexual connection and nothing else, rather than, you know, communicating with family members on a surface level and not really showing any true compassion for one another. I think you're done with all of that, essentially. You're looking for something much more stable, much more impassioned, something that comes from the heart, right? A true foundation with someone or several people in your life. It could be that there's specific people that you want to work on like your connection with, or you just want that in general, like you want something meaningful in your life. Next you have the Daughter of Wands in reverse. So this is Page of Wands in reverse. More fire energy. So 3 of 6 cards is your energy, Leo, okay? And yeah, this is really screaming of I feel like things have become so messy and ugly in my life, I don't know how to turn it around. Like, I don't know where to begin to start making things right, to start balancing things out, to, you know, come out of the descent that I took, pretty much. It's that kind of energy. Like, I feel like I'm such in the thick of it, and there's so much ugliness around me right now. I don't know how to bring myself out of that and move towards such a more balanced, wholesome, beautiful, you know, sort of soulful lifestyle, right? So that's what you're questioning right now. How do I do this? Because this is under the star, okay? So that's what you truly want. You want to live a more wholesome life. And I don't mean that in a very dogmatic, religious sense. It's nothing like that. It's about, you know, feeling like you're not feeding into your addictions or toxic behaviors, or aligning with toxic people, and only, you know, things being very like hedonistic and surface level. You want something with depth, with meaning, with soul level connections involved, right? You want it to transcend all of that. That's like shadow energy, right? You want it to transcend all of that. You want it to be more of the ascendant energy. And then finally you have the priestess. I don't know why the priestess came out. You might be dealing with someone who's very spiritual. That's why I said the priestess. And maybe someone very spiritual in your life that you want this connection with, because you feel like they can help you on this path to what you perceive as redemption, right? That can help bring you back into feeling whole and complete and balanced and aligned with your true north, right? So maybe you want to reach out to someone that you feel can help you with this. Maybe you know someone who's a spiritual leader or some sort of spiritual guide, you know, on the astral. Someone physical could be someone very spiritually minded, possibly even a priestess. Maybe that's why that came out. But either way, you have the Empress, okay? So this energy here I often associate with like Virgo energy. It's that kind of very abundant, very alluring. Also can be aligned with Libra, I feel. But either way, I feel like this is what you want, because this is under the King of Pentacles in reverse. So it doesn't matter about the, you know, that it's the Empress, not the Emperor. It's not about the gender of the person, right? I feel like you want to come back to nurturing, you know, positivity in your life. You want to sow the seeds that can help you, you know, grow into a more whole and complete and truer version of yourself. You're wanting to nurture positivity in your life. You want to nurture good connections in your life. You want to take, you know, what you've learned from these circumstances and use it to create a better life for yourself. That's what I feel like. And I feel like maybe there is someone in particular that you feel is of the Empress energy or the High Priestess energy that you feel can help you on that journey in some way. So, yeah, interesting. But that's the thing you have to realize, Leo, like, even though this might sound really like harsh and it sounds very critical, the idea behind this is to help you. I know some people don't like hearing these blunt truths, but if it applies to you, you know in your heart that it's true, right? If this actually does apply to your situation. And if that's the case, the idea is to take the information that resonates, the parts that do, if they do, and use it to help heal those aspects of yourself. Because you've got to remember that just because you may have fallen into bad habits or bad crowds, or, you know, may not be, you know, really operating from your highest aspects or really aligned with your true self, that doesn't mean you can't come back to center, right? That's the idea of doing this reading, to help you see where you may have gone astray a little bit and to help you come back to yourself. You know, that doesn't mean you have to keep punishing yourself or feeling like you have to just take it all on. No, you can do something about it. You can bring yourself back to where you should be. All right? No matter, like, you may have done some things you regret, but you're human. We all do, okay? So you have to also, a part of this journey is going to be also about forgiving yourself for your mistakes, okay? So just be aware of that. So in regards to the Sun of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Wands in reverse, you have the Page of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Wands in reverse, so that's your energy, and the Four of Swords in reverse. Yeah. No, you're not wanting to do things impulsively anymore, because you were not, you've been out of sorts, you've been out of your power, because you've not been willing to invest any kind of emotion into your connections. But I feel like you got to the point where you're so disimpassioned with life in general that even if there was a connection you truly wanted, even if you've been pursuing it or you've been in a relationship with someone that you was highly attracted to, I feel like your attraction for anyone at this point is pretty much out the window because of how you're feeling, you know, because there's so much that hasn't been resolved or healed, right, in regards to these shadow aspects, right, the things that have really kind of, you know, led you astray, essentially. And I feel like that's maybe some addictive behaviors or certain tendencies that you have when you're in a situation where you could start emotionally investing into something with some serious longevity. That might kind of be the trigger for you, right? So that aspect of yourself needs healing, okay? So clarifying the star here, you have the Strength card, your card, Leo, and you have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So this is what I'm talking about. This is all about you, okay? Even though it might involve certain connections, this is what it comes to is it's all about you, okay? You coming back to your true self, you know? Your higher self, taming the shadow and bringing balance back into your life, into yourself, right? Because you've been out of balance for quite some time now. Your shadow self has been running amok, and you know it's time that you allow your higher self to take the reins, essentially, and to pull that back into its rightful place, right? Because like I say, the shadow self can be your greatest ally, or it can be the biggest form of self-sabotage there is, okay? So it's up to you on how you approach it. But if you allow your higher self to come to the forefront for once and do the work, like, you'll see the change and you'll come back to your true energy, okay? Because so far you're not really investing time and energy into yourself. I feel like, you know, there may be some aspects of yourself where you have been, but maybe not in the key areas that need it most, okay? And I feel like this is where a lot of your time and energy needs to go into doing this shadow work, okay? That's very, very important for you guys at this time. Hence me doing the readings, right? Yeah. So clarifying the King of Pentacles in reverse here, the Father of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords and you have the Ace of Wands. So yeah, it's crunch time. You have to make a decision. Do you want to continue to be out of sorts, out of your power, not accomplishing this, you know, powerful change, you know, not igniting this powerful change in yourself that allows you to really recalibrate, to be operating from your highest sense of self, you know, aligning to the really positive energies, the nurturing, healing energies, and allowing that to flourish in your life and give you this new lease on life. Bring that passion back that you lost. Or are you going to just continue down this path that you've been on for some time? Only you can decide that. That's your decision. No one else can tell you otherwise, okay? So clarifying the Four of Wands here. So you have two fours as well, so the 4 can be significant for you this time. Number 4 or 44. That was the same for Pisces, I believe, which is interesting. But yeah, you have the 9 of Wands and you have the 6 of Wands. You have the 6 and the 9 as well. Don't get any dirty ideas, you lot. But the 6 and 9 tells me that you're dealing with, there's some karmic situation playing out. The truth is replacing illusion, you know. It's that kind of energy where you're starting to see what you truly want to manifest, what it is that brings you the most passion and joy, feeling like, you know, you have stability, the foundation is there, something long lasting, something that really taps into your solar plexus, you know, the seat of the soul kind of energy, right? So yeah, you're coming to awareness where you need to get out of this victim mentality and get into the driver's seat, pretty much. Take the lead, because you have an opportunity to change your life. Essentially, you can do this, but you need to come out of this victim mentality, like, oh, all this bad stuff happens to me and I just have to take it. No, change it. It's up to you. Next, clarifying the Page of Wands in reverse here, the Daughter of Wands. You have the Queen of Swords in reverse, so air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And you also have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, some more earth energy. Yeah, I feel like I was saying, you're really struggling to cut certain things out because you're like so overwhelmed by it. You're like, my gosh, like I've got myself in such a mess. You know, I've made some really bad decisions, or I've aligned myself to some really bad people that are really not good for me, connections that are not good for me, situations that are not good for me. And I don't even know where to begin, right? Like, I don't know how to even cut this shit out in my life. It's just every turn pretty much. But that's something you're going to have to look at. You may have to approach it, you know, step by step. Do one thing at a time, not trying to tackle everything at once because you're going to feel overwhelmed otherwise. So you have to take more of a methodical approach to it, right? What's the first thing that you can take care of today? Then the next thing and the next thing, like that. Build it up slowly rather than trying to tackle everything at once, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do it that way. It will just overwhelm you. But once you start taking those steps, you'll have the ability to just change your entire reality pretty much. Your whole situation will start to look very different. Even if you're still living in the same place, even if you still have the same family members, right? A lot of things within your connections, within yourself, within your environment will start to look very different and feel very different, right? But you have to start somewhere. You have to take the initiative. So it's on you to begin, pretty much. Clarifying the Empress here, you have the Two of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Page of Wands in reverse again. Was it the Page? Sorry, the Knight. So you've got the Knight of Wands in reverse twice in your reading. Just like the Ace of Wands in reverse twice. So, yeah. That may be what was sabotaging you. Maybe your quick, impulsive decision making bad choices just on what makes you feel good at the time is what led to this mess, which got you into this state of, you know, manifesting really negative things in your life because you were aligning yourself to things that were not aligned to your true being, right? Your true character. But I think you're aware of that, and that's why there may be a specific someone that you feel is very much aligned to who you want to be or who you truly are, and that's aligned to your values, your principles, the things you care about most, you know, that sees life in a way how you truly kind of see it. You know, that is very nurturing, you know, is very abundant, emotionally grounded, very stable energy, right? And you want something with this person. You want a true connection with this person, something powerful, long-lasting, like I said, with that Four of Wands there. You know, you want a strong commitment with this person. Or if it's a family member, you know, maybe a mother figure or, you know, an aunt, a grandmother, that kind of energy. You want to reconnect with this person because you feel that soul connection with them. They really help you ground yourself and see things more clearly. You know, they're wise, they're very nurturing, they have a lot of love, and you want to reconnect with this person. Otherwise, this could be someone that you are romantically inclined towards, that you're wanting to reach out to and maybe reconcile with, you know, offer an apology, ask for forgiveness. Again, humbling yourself down, being honest, right? Being vulnerable, exposing your true feelings, that kind of energy, right? So you may want to even offer an apology to someone. With the Six of Swords, yeah, you want to get out of this mental conflict. You want to move towards smoother, calmer waters, right? With you and this connection. Because you feel like that's one of the things that you can start tackling today, right? Because this obviously, whatever this connection is, it obviously plays on your mind a lot as well. So that you feel like that's something you could you might not have full control over, but that's something you can at least initiate. So that's something you're wanting to do. And yeah, maybe you felt like you approached this person initially, or when things blew up, you came at them with the wrong energy. You may have been very hot and cold. 1 minute you were there, next minute you were gone. Maybe you cut this person off, or they cut you off because they felt like you were being insincere, or because you felt like they wasn't what you wanted at the time, or they were trying to tell you what to do and you didn't want the nagging or whatever. But you're realizing that maybe you did show up with the wrong energy. Maybe, you know, it's time to kind of put the wrong right and show up with this authenticity, your true face, your true emotions, your true thoughts on the situation and what you want for this connection. So Leo, yeah, lots to think about there. There's a lot of processing and inner work to do, lots of shadow work to look at. You know, I feel like some of you probably already started this work. For others of you, you're going to begin as of now, I feel. But just know that, okay, you may have fucked up in some ways, or you may have felt like someone led you astray and they weren't who you thought they were, right? So you're having to like backtrack and realign to your true energy, because you kind of was getting led down the wrong path and aligning with energies that were not good for your own. But either way, however it is, you know, just understand that you make mistakes. We all make mistakes, okay? So you don't have to hold yourself at ransom to this energy, okay? That, you know, what it takes is openness and vulnerability, and opening your heart space and forgiving yourself and allowing yourself the opportunity to be forgiven. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But honestly, just take it one step at a time and you will get there. So just, you know, just know that if you're doing the steps, if you're taking the initiative, then you're already on the path. All right, so I'm wishing you lots of love, lots of support and guidance at this time, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.